What is up, everybody? What is up? What is up? Suf, how you doing, bro? Ragna, how you doing? Whipcat Game, how you doing? How's everybody doing tonight? Another classic, truly classic late night Lilo live stream, bro. These are becoming kind of the trademark. I'm not even gonna lie. Just the late night streams. Snillium, how are you doing, bro? How's everybody doing? Jordan Bryant, how you doing? How you doing? Welcome to the stream, everybody. I'll be honest, man. I love doing late night live streams. Like, I genuinely think I enjoy them more than doing them in like reasonable time frames. It's just fun. Whipcant Game said, bro, you always pick the topics I think of and I'm researching. That is very dope, dude. You said why I always miss these. Love One Piece Forever. Do you think art screwed? I am listening to ChatGPT One Piece fan fiction. They're so good and creative. It's like Oda wrote it himself. That's actually interesting. That's actually interesting. No, I don't think art's screwed. Just because, like, at the end of the day, like, people like stuff that's made by human beings more. Just intuitively, we do. Akhtar, is this the beginning? Yeah, we just started. Geo, what's up? What's up, everybody? Yeah, sorry about this, guys. I wanted to do this earlier. Like, I wanted to do it like 3 hours ago, but I ended up just chilling with some friends for like 3 hours. And you know, it's important to spend time with your friends, man. It's important. How's my audio sounding? Is it sounding good? Akhtar said, bro, you got to release the Zodiac versus Royal Guards. I will, bro. I think, okay, Tuesday. I'm going to get it out Tuesday. And audio's coming through good? All right, sick. All right, guys, so let's get started. Tonight, we're going to be talking about Knuckle versus Shoot and just going into detail about like how powerful each of the characters are. What's up, Aaron? What's up, you guys? We're going to be going into detail about this. I don't know if I'm going to have a open debate portion like I did last time. Just because like I had this one like pretty well set out, but like if a lot of people want to do a debate, maybe we could, but we'll see. And it is late on a Sunday night. So, you know, it's kind of understandable if like not that many people are awake right now. People have work tomorrow and school and whatnot. But me personally, I am on summer break, so my sleep schedule was already cooked during the school semester. I would do these anyway. But now that I'm on summer, I don't have to wake up like early at all. So I'm down to just stay up. So we're going to do this live stream. All right, so let's get into it. Okay, so starting out with talking about their powers, the first thing I want to say is that both Knuckle and Shoot are massively underrated characters throughout the entirety of Hunter x Hunter. In complete honesty, I think the team of Morel, Knuckle, and Shoot might genuinely be the most underrated team in the entire series. All three of them pretty much perfectly embody what it means to be a veteran hunter and embody what it means to be like a true pro hunter in this series. Like, all three of them represent that, like, with experience, skill, that can beat like stat disadvantages. Like, and I'm really happy that Togashi added them to this series because they just show like what hunters are capable of in a great way. So oh, Regna, you said you're graduating? Oh, nice, bro. Congrats, man. That's awesome. But all right, so yeah, like talking about their powers. So on the left-hand panel here, it's actually stated that Knuckle and Shoot, their abilities actually complement one another very well, and their powers work together. Like, their powers like have synergy with each other. They just make a very good team, using a hit and run strategy. Like, these two together are just a really powerful duo. And we actually see an example of like this strategy being used well against like the zombie version of Kite. Okay, like Knuckle and Shoot together are actually who captures the zombie version of Kite, and we get like insight onto how they actually did it. Okay, using their abilities. So first, like, let's talk about Shoot's ability. Both Knuckle and Shoot, both of them have like very hacks based Hatsu abilities. I thought that Knuckle, Shoot, and Morel were all manipulators. I thought they were like their Nen type was all manipulator. But I looked it up and apparently it's just Morel and Shoot are manipulators, but Knuckle's actually a conjurer. And I forget which one of those types has a higher chance of randomly becoming a specialist, but it's one of those two. Either manipulators or conjurers have a chance of becoming specialists like as their life goes on and they go through different things. And it's interesting, like there's narrative elements that say like emotions affect your nen, and we kind of see that with Gon and Killua with how like Gon, his power spikes up with his rage amps, but that could just be because he's a freaksus, like there could just be different. But Killua, we see the biggest difference where like his confidence increased his power. It's like, nen is a very interesting battle system. But anyway, talking about Whip can't game. You said it's conjurers. Okay, so that means Knuckle would have a chance of becoming a specialist in the future too. But talking about Shoot's power first, his Hatsu ability, what it does is once he damages his opponent, he can put parts of their body inside of the cage that he has like floating around him at all times. Like if you look in this thumbnail here, like the cage he has to the side of him, he just has like either body parts of his opponents or entire people can be like stored in there, like shrunken down and stored in there. This is a really powerful ability because he can like remove your eyes and then you just cannot see anymore as you're fighting him. It's very like hack spaced. It's very powerful. And we get an understanding of like how much damage is needed to be done in order for him to steal like individual body parts. It's really not much. Like if he steals Youpi's eye, for example, and he was doing pretty much 0 damage to Youpi and could still steal one of his eyes. And with Kite, however, to put an entire human being in the cage, they had to damage him severely, is what they say. Like, did I put that here? Oh no, it's on the next panel, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Oh, actually, no, it is right here. It's the right-hand panel. If you look at the right-hand panel, they said, we had to wound him severely. I'm sorry, we had no choice. And, like, that's how they were able to store his entire body in Shoot's cage. So if he does, like, as much damage to you as Knuckle and Shoot jumping him did, then he can just store your entire body in the cage. And we don't know if there's a way you can escape that. Bromus, what's up, bro? My cat wants to come in here, too. She's crying out in front of the door. If, like... Let me know in the chat if, like, that starts to bother you. I can let her in. But I just usually leave her outside of my room during the streams because she starts, like, trying to box me during the streams, man. Yeah, so that's Shoot's power, and it's just very broken, quite frankly. Just being able to blind your opponents for basically free is crazy. Okay? And against Killua, we get to see, like, how his power works a little bit. So something that's interesting here, if you look at this panel on the left... When he started fighting Killua, he had 3 hands floating. 3 hands. But he still had like 1 hand attached to his right fist. And there's a couple like mysteries around Shoot. Like, he doesn't have a left arm. I don't know what happened to it. And I don't think we ever get an explanation to that. Like, so the reason I bring this up is because one of the Phantom Troop members, Franklin, he actually has a bit of dialogue where it talks about Franklin's Hatsu ability. He's the dude who can shoot bullets out of his fingers. And like in the manga, it states like Franklin could always shoot bullets out of his fingers, but as a conditional nen, he chopped his fingers off, and that made his nen more powerful. I wonder if something similar to like that happened with Shoot. Like, he could always make limbs levitate, but he literally chopped his arm off to make it more powerful. That might be something. That's never confirmed. It's just, like, some possibility. Let me know your theory on, like, why he doesn't have a left arm. Okay? But the thing about him having 3 hands, actually, like, if you count all of them, he has 4. Because, like, he has his hand on his right arm that's attached to his right arm, like, at all times. And then he has 3 that float and, like, beat people up. I think that means somebody he fought in the past, he just never returned their limbs to them. Like, he took their limbs and just kept it. Because we see, like, with Killua, he takes Killua's eye, but then gives Killua his eye back at the end of the battle. But someone in Shoot's past, he took their hands and then just never gave them back. Which is kind of interesting. Like, let me know who you guys think that person was. Okay. Now, and we also get to see like how he uses these hands in battle. He can use them as a diversion. Like that's what Killua says. That the hands are like jumping you essentially. Like all three of the hands are jumping you, flying around, and then he steps in to deal enough damage to like take a limb. So that's like one of his fight strategies. Use the hands as decoys, come in for a sneak attack, and then once he's hit you like one time, he can take your eyes, which is a pretty crazy ability. Anno said, wouldn't blinding most Nen Masters not be that OP since they can supplement their missing eyesight with N? Yeah, that's a good point. Against Nen Masters, yeah. Against Nen Masters. But it should be noted, though, there's this line of Should I let Momo in? My cat Momo? I'm hearing her cry right outside my door. I'm going to keep going. If she keeps crying, I'll let her in, all right? But there's this line of dialogue with the Zodiac Sayu. He's like the monkey-type Zodiac. His Hatsu ability, it's like see no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil. And what it does, it like if he hits you 3 times, you lose your ability to see, hear, and talk. I think I know that you go blind and deaf. I forget what the third one is. It might also be to speak. And what Sayu says is like people start to panic when they lose those senses, and then you can predict their next move by reading the flow of their aura. And we actually see like a bunch of advanced Nen users do that against their opponents. Like Genthru does that when he fights Gon. He's like, his flow of aura is choppy. I can literally predict what he's going to do just by looking at like where he's putting his aura. Knuckle says the same thing to Gon too. He's like, I can predict your next move looking at the flow of your aura. But like when you remove people's senses, especially enhancers, like they get panicked, and it makes their aura flow more choppy, and it makes it easier to predict their attacks and dodge their attacks. That's what Sayu said. But to be fair, that's like he did say that's when they go blind and deaf. But like in theory, like Shoot can do that too. He can just take away your eyes and ears, and then just beat you down. Okay. What's up, Anime Monarch? What's up, everybody? Okay. So yeah, this is a pretty cracked Hatsu ability. Like, if he hits you twice, you're blind, okay? Now, that's just, like, normal base form Shoot. But during the Palace invasion, Shoot actually evolves. He becomes a lot stronger during the invasion, and overcomes, like, some of his biggest weaknesses, and, like, starts boxing like a true champion. So, if you look in the left-hand panel here, something he discovers, like, he gets his right leg crushed, and then he stands on one of the 3 fists. So if you count in total, he does have 4 hands. So like somewhere along the line, he took someone else's hands. Okay. Gio said, Shoot Loki got waves. He honestly does, bro. But anyway, Shoot, like in this fight, he evolves, right? So he stands on one of the hands, and doing this, he gains the ability to fly while he boxes you at the same time. Like, it's basically an evolved version of the same strategy. Instead of just hitting you with hands and him sprinting in there and trying to box you like that, he's flying while the hands box you. So it's like he himself becomes like one of the hands. And it's pretty crazy. And I love, like, the right-hand panel. Well, okay, both of these panels are dope. Like, both of these panels kind of, like, embody to me what Hunter x Hunter is. It's just a different kind of shonen manga, bro. Like, it's not about like how powerful you are. It's not about just aura farming. It's like something in between. I don't know quite how to put it into words, but Hunter x Hunter is just a very unique battle shonen, man. I do think it might be Togashi's best work, bro. But like, yeah, if you look at the left-hand panel, he says like this new evolution is his signature move now. Like, it was his first time ever doing it. He evolved in the middle of battle. And this is also kind of like leaning into the theme of like your mentality you have massively affects like how powerful you are in Hunter x Hunter. Because it's like, Shoot, the biggest weakness he had, he was strong, but he was mentally like a coward. He was afraid. And like, that's why his power is like a cage. Because like, it represents like, he was trying to like create a cage to where he couldn't get hurt by other people. But here he evolves, bro. So like, I love that this is his new move. It's his new signature move. And then I love the right-hand panel where he just covers his eye for no reason. Like, there's no reason behind it. And I love that the narrator just straight up says, like, he doesn't have a reason for doing this. He's just aura farming. That's it. Like, I loved that. That's one of my favorite, like, moments in the whole arc. Like, I never see people talk about it, but legit, the narrator's like, yeah, by the way, he's just aura farming here. Don't worry about it, though. And then he starts boxing Youpi. So, like, the reason this is really impressive is because he holds his own against Youpi for a while. Like, dodging multiple attacks from Youpi for a while. Like, this isn't like what Killua was doing. Killua was just, like, straight stun locking Youpi. Like, Godspeed is, like, really cracked. And he was stun locking him by just, like, putting the hands on him. But what Shoot was doing was different. He was straight weaving Youpi's attacks. Weaving them, bro. He was weaving them in a 1v1. He didn't have any lightning to stun Youpi at all. Just straight weaving him. Just straight weaving him. And like the panel says, Shoot's ferocious and aggressive speed succeeded in focusing Youpi on defense for a split second. And like in this interaction where he's fighting Youpi, he actually lands a blow on Youpi and steals one of Youpi's eyes. Which is pretty hype. I don't know exactly how long the fight went for. Like, there's different ways you can, like, measure it. Actually, yeah, you can measure it. And we could actually do that a little later in the stream, because there's this moment where Youpi, after Youpi evolves, the narrator straight up says, like, in a certain amount of time, Youpi will go bankrupt, or in other words, 11 minutes and 30 seconds after the invasion has started. It's something like that. And we know that when Shoot fought Youpi, after Shoot fought Youpi, Knuckle said 10 minutes from now, Youpi will go bankrupt. So that means, like, Shoot fought him for around a minute. Something like that. Anno said, I think it's implying he's nerfing himself because it's more interesting and fun. He basically unlocked his inner Hisoka. It might be that, man, honestly. But yeah, like, Shoot might have fought Youpi for a full minute by himself, which is actually insane, and didn't die. So yeah, it's pretty nuts. Yeah, Lilos is actually my nickname, like, in real life. Yeah, that's like what my friends call me. I got that nickname in undergrad. One of my friends called me that. But yeah, people actually call me Lilo in real life too. But anyways, yeah, I was just answering, someone in the chat asked me that. But anyways, what was it? So yeah, this was pretty crazy that he could put Youpi on the defensive for even a split second. And then it's talking about, like, the psychological effect, like, Shoot's ability had on Youpi, like, psyched him out a little bit. Like, the fact that he didn't know what was going on was, it was, like, baffling Youpi, because he's like, I don't understand, like, what happened just now. I don't even know what he did to me. And, like, it's also shown, like, multiple times Youpi struggles with understanding Nen combat, so fighting someone like Shoot was, like, a weird thing to him. He didn't understand how someone this much weaker than him could, like, do anything to him at all. But that was something that keeps getting repeated. Like, he says that about Killua too. Then this happens again with Morel and Knuckle. But the fascinating thing with Morel and Knuckle is by the end of that, he has genuine admiration for Morel and Knuckle. That was a hype scene too. He's like, you guys are actually, like, amazing. He just straight up admits, like, he admires them for being able to push him and almost, like, defeat him, even though that they were way weaker. So that's why I think, like, the Knuckle, Shoot, Morel team is just straight up the most underrated team in the series. Like, they are the best example of, like, you can be at a stat disadvantage and still just win anyway, if you're a good hunter, if you're, like, a pro hunter. Okay, now the right hand panel here, this is some interesting scaling stuff for Shoot that I just want to bring up real quick, because there's different ways to interpret it, right? So in the manga, this is where Shoot is, like, having an epiphany, because there's this moment where, like, after the dragon dive, they don't know if Knuckle and Melioron got hit by it and died instantly. and there was a moment of unawareness where they were like, we don't know what would happen with Melioran's ability if he died with his ability active. Like they're saying, if because they were invisible at the time, right? Knuckle and Melioran were invisible using Melioran's ability, and they didn't know what would happen if Melioran died while using his ability. Would he like turn visible again, or would they just stay invisible forever? No one knew. So they had no idea if if Knuckle had died, and if Knuckle did die, then someone else would have to fight Youpi. And Gon figured it out before everyone else because he's just a crash out, and Gon was about to 1v1 square up with Youpi. That panel is actually way cooler in the manga than it is in the anime, by the way. We can go back and look at that after I finish all this stuff, because like that scene in the anime does not look as good as it did in the manga. It's one of the few where the manga actually looked better, and I'll show you guys that in a little bit. But during that moment, like Shoot was just getting hyped up by Gon's like crash out behaviors. He's like, dude, this dude's built different essentially. Like this guy's mentality is like a real hunter, and it was inspiring Shoot. And one of the things Shoot says in the manga, it's worded differently. Like he's talking about Knuckle and Morel, and he says, my friends and teachers gave me advice, but I brushed it off because they did not have those fears. But in the anime, the way it's worded in the anime, he says, I never listened to them because I considered it the logic of the strong. Okay, so based off the anime interpretation, you could say just from that he like a bunch of different ways you could view it. You could view it as he viewed Knuckle and Morel as stronger than himself in all areas, so he never listened to them for that reason. Or another way you could view it is like he just viewed them as mentally stronger than himself, which they both were anyway. Like Knuckle and Shoot just are very like mentally strong, like brave people, you could say, and very similar characters. Like Morel and Knuckle are basically the same guy. If you guys haven't realized that, like, and it would be dope if they ever show like a young Morel what he was like. Because I think Morel is like in his 40s, and I think Knuckle is in the range of like late 20s to early 30s, somewhere in there. But it would be hype if they showed like a 20-year-old Morel and show what he was like. But that's one interpretation of it. Two different ones. Like in the anime interpretation, you could say like either he's just straight up saying Knuckle and Morel were always physically stronger than him, or they were just mentally stronger than him. But in the manga, he's just straight up saying, like, they didn't have the fears that I have. And then Shoot also in the manga says that Gon was much weaker than him and broke him out of his, like, mental cage. Cages have a lot to do with Shoot's power. Because he's, like, in a mental cage himself from his own fear and uses cages to fight. But in the anime, it says Gon has less than half his strength. Now, I could see the Gon at the start of the Chimera Ant arc having less than half his strength for certain, but I don't really know if I believe the idea of enraged, angry Kid Gon being less than half the strength of Shoot. Let me know what you guys think about that in the chat, because, I mean, enraged Kid Gon, I don't know. Maybe, I'm not really sure if he was including that version of Gon. Mao Mao said, wait, how old is Kite? We don't know. Like there's a few characters we just never get their ages, so you just guess what their age is. Like Knuckle, we don't know Knuckle's age, but I assume that Knuckle is like in his late 20s at the earliest, just because of how many Nen battles he has. He has over 5,000, and it's like, I did the math once. It's like even if you fought one Nen battle a day, I think that takes 13 years, something like that. Yeah, but so, like, if he became a hunter at, like, 15, he would be, like, 28, you know? So I think Knuckle is somewhere in his late 20s, early 30s. I think Shoot is somewhere in that range, too. Kite, I think, is also in that range. But we don't actually know. Or unless it says it somewhere, and I just never read it. Lost in Sense, you said Kite is 25? Is that, like, what Google says, if you just Google it? And I saw... Wait, anyone else say anything? Did I miss any other questions? Oh, see ya, Crawler. You got class. See ya, bro. Wait, did I see any other questions here? No, okay. Okay, let's keep going. So, yeah, it depends on how you view it. But let me know what you guys think about about this statement in the anime. Like, Gon angry. Like, the other thing is he never did see, like, full power angry kid Gon, like, crashing out in front of Pito. He never saw that version of Gon. So maybe he was just basing it on this version of Gon, like the one at the start of the Chimera Ant arc that fought Knuckle. That shoot is definitely more than twice as strong as this version of Gon. I would say so. And you can tell that based on, like, how Gon versus Knuckle actually went. Like, Knuckle was holding back massively the whole fight. And Knuckle is stated to be physically on par with Kite in terms of strength, so it would make sense for Gon to only be like 40% as powerful as Knuckle, but like Angry Kid Gon, I don't know if he's really twice as strong as that. That's super debatable, so let me know what you guys think in the chat, especially when like Angry Kid Gon has statements like he could kill Pito if Pito doesn't use aura. Like, it's stated Pito would stand no chance against him. I don't know. It's just kind of a toss-up, especially when you see like people like Chimera Ant arc Palm like boxing Killua. I don't know, it's definitely a toss-up. Like, let me know what you guys think, okay? But this is just something interesting. You can scale it a bunch of different ways. If you just use the manga interpretation, he just thinks Knuckle and he just thinks Knuckle and Morel are braver than he is. If you use the anime interpretation, there's a couple other ways you can spin it, okay? So, Anime Monarch said, so in the manga, post-training base Gon is weaker than Shoot. I figured he was half his strength at least. You're saying post-training base Gon is more weaker than Shoot? Yeah, in the, like, yeah, from Shoot's perspective, he is. So, I don't know. And it's very debatable, though. Yeah, just let me know what you guys think. Because, I mean, I don't think Shoot has anything in his arsenal that's going to one-shot Morel, for example. So maybe he's just saying, like, everything in Gon's arsenal. Like, he's saying, like, as a hunter, I'm twice as experienced. I'm twice as skilled with Nen. So overall, I'm just twice the hunter he is. Maybe something like that. I'm not sure. Or he was basing it on the beginning of Chimera Ant Gon. That, to me, that's the interpretation that makes the most sense. Is that he's basing it on the Gon that fought Knuckle. Like, the Gon, like, if you look in the manga, when he's saying, like, a dude much weaker than me broke me out of my cage, all the pictures of Gon he's showing are Gon while he's getting beaten up by Knuckle. He's not showing, like, the Gon crashing out in front of Morel. So, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. So, now let's get to talking about Knuckle and Knuckle's powers. I like this fight matchup because it's, like, truly a Hunter-Hunter fight. Like, I'm not gonna lie, this is the kind of thing I wanted to post as a video, but I just know that Knuckle and Shoot are underrated characters, so I don't know if it would, like, do well as a video. Let me know in the chat if some of you guys would want me to, like, redo some of these live streams as actual edited videos. If any of you guys want me to do that, let me know which ones you would want me to redo as actual videos. But, like, my mentality with the live streams is I do them, like, I have a bunch of videos, like, planned out, but all the ones that I think people wouldn't really love, I do them as live streams because it's like I want to talk about it still, but I'd rather, like, save all my editing time for, like, videos I think people would, like, high demand want, you know? So let me know if there's ones you'd want me to redo as videos, okay? Because I could do that and, like, add more things to them. But anyway, let's talk about Knuckle's powers, okay? So Knuckle, his Hatsu ability is, I think, the most underrated Hatsu ability in the verse. He has the ability to put you into Zetsu for a month straight. You cannot be a Nen user for a month straight, bro. And it's like, even someone with as much aura as Youpi, who had 10 times as much aura as Morel, like, let me put the scale to you like this. Gon, when he fought Knuckle, had as much aura as a mid-ranking hunter, which was 21,500. Morel had more than 3 times a mid-ranking hunter, so that's like a high-tier hunter's amount of aura. He had 70,000. Youpi had 10 times greater than a high-tier veteran hunter's aura. 10 times greater than it. And even with all that power, Knuckle was able to make Youpi go bankrupt in about 11 minutes. Okay? Like, there's this statement here, like, after he beat Shoot, Knuckle has this line of dialogue. He's like, we will make you go bankrupt in 10 minutes anyway. That was after beating Shoot. But just talking about how Knuckles' power works, he activates his ability when he hits you. Like, he hits you one time and his ability activates. And like the amount of it works like the same way like credit card debt works essentially. Or like just yeah, just think of it like debt increasing, okay? So here's a simple explanation of it. He hits you, let's say he hits you with 500 aura, that becomes like a loan. And you have to pay him back 500 aura, otherwise you start going into debt really fast. So like he hits you with 500 aura, you owe him that much, and that means like you need to do 500 aura worth of damage, or the interest is going to increase and you're cooked. So like it increases by 10% interest every 10 seconds. So if you look at the left-hand panel, you see like how it goes in his fight against Gon. He hits Gon with 500 aura, and then 10 seconds later, it increases by 10%. So 10% of 500 is 50. So it increases by 50. And now the total Gon owes Knuckle is 556 aura. Then another 10 seconds, you owe 10% of 556. That's 56. It increases to 612, and it keeps going like that. So it's like every 10 seconds, the interest grows because it's 10% of like how much you owe at that moment. So eventually, like once you've been fighting him for a while, the interest starts growing by huge amounts. So like after just fighting Gon for 2 minutes, Gon already owed him 1,586 aura after just 2 minutes of fighting him. And it starts to snowball. Like once you get to like the 3-minute range, the interest starts getting really huge. And once the amount of aura that you owe Knuckle is bigger than your total aura remaining, you go bankrupt. And then you can't use Nen for 30 days straight. So the other thing that makes it crazy is like, as you fight Knuckle, you're using aura to fight him. So it's like, let's say you start the fight with 20,000 aura, and you're fighting Knuckle, you're running out of aura as you fight. Now you only have like 10,000 after fighting him for a couple minutes. And the interest is increasing the whole time. And if he keeps hitting you, I think the interest like gets even bigger when he hits you more and more. So he's really just crazy, dude. Like, now the other thing that's insane about it, if you look at the left-hand panel, Knuckles says, until you pay back the debt completely, I won't get damaged from your attacks. That is like one of the most broken things about his power, because like all the aura you owe him, all of this stuff you owe him becomes like a Nen shield. Like you have to bypass all the aura you owe him and Knuckles' natural defenses before he takes any damage at all. It is truly crazy. Anime Monarch said, was Gon stronger than Nen Needle Killua? Killua went from scared for Ramot to blitzing him. It seems like removing the Nen Needle made him multiple times stronger, and Gon is relative to post Nen Needle Killua. I think they're very close in power. But like, I mean, just ask yourself, like, do you think Angry Kid Gon would have done better against Palm than Killua did? Like, that can kind of give you your answer. Because, like, everyone looks impressive when they're, like, beating up fodder characters. But, like, when you're fighting someone who's relative to you in power, you, like, get a better understanding of it. Like, look at, like, how Killua struggled with, Chimera Antarch Palm. And just, like, think, like, how would Angry Kid Gon do against that? I think that they're relative in strength, personally. But that is, like, a whole debate on its own. I think they're relative in strength, personally. Yeah. But anyways, but like the biggest thing that changed with Killua is like he just gained confidence, and that seemed to like affect all his abilities. Like the confidence amp, similar to how Shoot got stronger with more confidence, like Killua got stronger with more confidence. So he's just, and the big shift was like Killua went from fighting like an assassin to fighting like a hunter. Gon was fighting like a hunter from the jump. That's like the difference. Like Gon was always willing to like risk his life to fight. And you actually see that when Killua goes for the kill shot against Icalgo. Icalgo's like, you shouldn't follow me in this cave, it's a trap. And Killua's like, I don't care anyway, bro. And still like murks him. Before Nen Needle Killua would never have done that. Like that's a sign of Killua acting like a hunter. Okay. Anyways, what I was saying about Knuckle is like his power is broken. If you can't pay back the aura debt, he doesn't even take damage. On top of that, he's physically on par with Kite in terms of strength. He's a veteran over 5,000 Nen battles. He's absolutely broken. He's genuinely absolutely broken. And like all throughout the Chimera Ant arc, Knuckles like experience gets hyped up. Like he saw Youpi use his aura like explosion thing one time and instantly thought of a strategy to defeat him. And the narrator's gassing up his experience, saying like the reason Knuckle could do that was because he's so experienced. But yeah, against someone like against Gon, he said like no matter what Gon does, even if he just stood there like doing nothing, 4 minutes and 20 seconds was all it would take for Gon to go bankrupt. And like if Gon's fighting, it goes even faster than that. So someone like Shoot, if he's fighting Shoot, at most it's going to take like 5 minutes, maybe 6 minutes, and then Shoot would go bankrupt, and then Knuckle just wins. Like that's one of the crazy things about Knuckles' ability, combined with like his speed. He's very fast at sprinting. Like there's a line of dialogue where it's like, well, I mean, we literally see him sprinting away from crazy stuff. Like, oh wait, do I have it here? Well, he sprints away from like Youpi's like crazy attacks at point blank range. He's known to be a sprinter, and there's a line of dialogue where they're like, Knuckle can like stay at top speed for a long time. And that goes really well with his ability. Like he can use it like a hit and run tactic. He hits you one time, and if he can just run away from you for about 5 minutes, he wins the fight. And he himself is very strong, so like if he has to get up there and box, he can do that too. So he's nuts. He's nuts, dude. And yeah, this is just a line of him being physically as strong as Kite, just about. And then here's a panel of like, in his first fight with Gon, he was holding back the whole time, and Gon has a line of dialogue like implying like if Knuckle speed blitzed him at the start of the fight, and if he wasn't being so nice, he could have just one-shot Gon as soon as it started, which is why like the idea of Gon being half the strength of Shoot actually makes sense to me, especially this Gon. And yeah, and this is just him saying like his ability keeps you in Zetsu for 30 days. And then here's the panel I was talking about where he see, oh yeah, this is what I was talking about. Look at like what he sprints away from in just like a fraction of a second. Like sprints away from this like insane rage attack from Youpi from here to here. He just sprints away from it, still able to dodge it. And then just from seeing this one time, the narrator says, having had more experience, Knuckle understood what had happened to Youpi. And then the narrator's like, and then you see Knuckles planning stuff, and the narrator's like, the plan Knuckle instantly envisioned was close to perfect for defeating Youpi. Like, that's like what Nen experience is like. Like, it lets you do stuff like that. Okay? So, all that being said, who do I think... Oh, yeah, and then I just have, like, this picture of Yusuke. I've had this in other streams, too, but this is, like, an Easter egg for Togashi's work. Like, if you look at Young Jing, it's just Yusuke. And Knuckle is pretty much like a fusion of Yusuke and Kuwabara. This is like two of the main characters from Togashi's previous work. Knuckle's pretty much just a fusion of both of them. But anyways, who would win between these two? I will give you my stance on it right now. So here's my interpretation of it. Against original Shoot, this version of Shoot, I say that Knuckle is like more likely to win. They would both have win conditions over each other. Like this is how Nen battles tend to go with people who are close in power. They would both have win conditions over each other. For example, if Shoot takes both of Knuckles' eyes, he's going to very likely be able to like pay back the debt of APR and just beat him because Knuckle can't see and we've never seen him use N. He might have N, but even if he has it, it's like his aura flow is likely going to be more choppy and he just literally won't be able to see. Like that's a massive advantage fighting against someone like Shoot who has multiple limbs like flying at you. If you can't see at all, that's such a huge disadvantage, especially with an ability that like it relies on you being able to avoid your opponent. But I would say, like, that's a win condition for for Shoot. But, like, Knuckle being physically on par with Kite, having all the experience he has, I'm not sure if Shoot has as much experience as Knuckle. We don't know for certain. Shoot does not have the same statement of having 5,000 Nen battles, and he's shown to be cowardly. And meanwhile, Knuckle is shown to be like a crash out type punk character, so he likely fought more frequently than Shoot did. These are all just interpretations. We don't know for certain, but you could say that they have the same experience if you wanted to say that. But Knuckle does have the better statement of being physically on par with Kite. But I mean, if you wanted to, you could say Shoot has all those things too, but he just isn't stated to have them. That's a debate on its own. But Knuckle has better statements of strength and experience. Just he does. But you could like debate that Shoot would have those things too, and it just wasn't said. But I would say just base form to base form, like Knuckle versus this version of Shoot, Knuckle would win. I don't really mean base. I mean like just Knuckle versus this version of Shoot, period. Knuckle is just slightly more likely to win using hit and run tactics. Like get APR and then just survive for 5 minutes. Knuckle's very capable of doing that, especially since he can just sprint away. And we also see even Killua, like before removing the Nen Needle, was able to react to Shoot's attacks. Meanwhile, we see Gon getting like speed blitzed by Knuckle and about to get one shot by him. Like right here, he's like speed blitzing Gon and about to one shot him while he's holding back massively, like doing warm up punches. I would say that Knuckle's just slightly more likely to win against this version of Shoot. However, the evolved Shoot, this version of Shoot, I say is slightly more likely to win against Knuckle. Okay? But all of these fights are close, but this evolved version of Shoot is a good counter to someone like Knuckle. Like, if you're faster than Knuckle is, that is like his weakness. That's like the weakness to APR. If you're faster than Knuckle is, that's a weakness to APR. Yeah, and if you're just fighting Knuckle on his own. But if you fight Knuckle and Morel together, like Morel's smoke screens and clones makes up for if you're faster than him, to be honest. Like, that's why Cheetu, it didn't matter that Cheetu is faster than Knuckle. Because, like, Morel was able to trick him with clones and smoke screens and all that. But, and also Knuckle is just, way more experienced than Cheetu and way smarter, so he could deal with his speed. But with someone like Shoot, who's not stupid, who is shown to be able to evade attacks from Youpi, can fly and like hit you from multiple angles at once, I lean towards thinking this version of Shoot actually would be able to pay back the APR debt. Then it comes down to just Shoot versus Knuckle in just straight hands, and then it gets debatable. But Shoot still has the ability to remove Knuckle's eyes and like beat him from there. So I lean towards this version of Shoot beating Knuckle, and I lean towards Knuckle beating like the original Shoot. So like if I had it on a scale, I would have the evolved Shoot as the strongest, I would have normal Knuckle as second, and then I would have like the start of Chimera Ant arc Shoot as the weakest. What do you guys think about that interpretation? Does anyone disagree with that? And like to better put it into perspective, like Shoot's win condition is he has to steal Knuckles' eyes. Another thing, he might even be able to steal your feet and make it so you can't run away. And then but like he would have to pay back Knuckles' aura debt first, otherwise like Knuckle takes no damage. And then you have and the other thing is they both know each other's abilities too. So like surprise attacks aren't going to work on characters that both know each other's abilities, to be honest, that are relative in stats. And then you have Knuckles' win condition is just land APR and survive 5 minutes and he wins. So I just think Knuckle is more likely to do that here. But I think this version of Shoot could pay back the aura debt in under 5 minutes, just like using this flying around tactic and hitting Knuckle with it. I think he could pay back the aura debt like this. So yeah, that's the scale I have for it. I have this Shoot as the strongest, and then I have Knuckle right below him, and then I have original Shoot below Knuckle. Especially since original Shoot was a coward as well, and Knuckle was brave. Like that also would make me just put him above him. What do you guys think about that? Broma said agree completely. Ashura says agree. Mau Mau says I agree overall. Anno says I think Shoot is stronger 1v1. Knuckle is stronger for group fights. Yeah, they're both like these guys are just excellent support characters. But like I'd say Knuckle is probably the strongest support type character in the whole series. To be able to put anyone in Zetsu for a month is insane. And he it's like the ability doesn't even have like a weakness, bro. Like the only weakness is if you're faster than Knuckle. Imagine if Knuckle had if Knuckle had a Godspeed ability of his own, like he's like top 1, bro. Like yeah. Like if Knuckle just develops like Godspeed level speed, he would literally be like the strongest hunter. Like straight up. Like he just hits you with APR and you cannot touch him. He wins every time. That's like his only weakness is he's not the fastest character in the story. Cause like or if you can one-shot him. Like if you have an ability like Gon's Rock and you can pay back all the aura debt with one hit, those are like his only weaknesses. Ashura said Kite and Shoot versus Killua and Gon. Kite would kind of carry. Like, Kite could probably kill Gon and Killua together with just one swing of the scythe. Because it was stated Kite was stronger than Gon and Killua together even with just one arm. But that was before they did a month of training with Bisky. I mean, like, end of Chimera Antar, Gon and Killua versus Kite, even that is tough. Because that scythe is killing them if it lands. But, like, Gon and Killua working together can land disgusting combos on people. Like, the best combo that I've seen them do was actually what they did to Ramot, where Killua hit Ramot with a lightning bolt to paralyze him, and then Gon cracked him with a rock. With End of Chimera Antar, Gon and Killua, that, like, one-shots most of the verse. That combo one-shots most of the verse. Like most of the verse is not surviving Gon's rock. Even with their Nen defense up, let alone if they're paralyzed. Like, so Gon and Killua actually can, working together, take out a lot of people stronger than them. But individually, I say Kite would beat Killua. And I say individually, Kite beats Gon. But them working together might act like, I don't know if that's a hot take or not. Let me know if you guys think it's a hot take. But them working together, I actually do think they might have a win condition over Kite. It's that combo I said. The Lightning Bolt John Ken might work. You said, oh, you meant Knuckle and Shoot versus Gon and Killua. Oh, my fault. Knuckle and Shoot versus Gon and Killua, that's really close too. Honestly, that one I might make a video. That's really close. That's a really interesting idea. I might do that as a video, to be honest. That is interesting. I might legit, yeah, I think I might do that as a video. That one sounds sick. I wouldn't want to do that as a stream. That is like video worthy. Let me keep reading these. Someone said, Lilo, if you said Shoot is stronger than Knuckle, this doesn't mean that Shoot is stronger than everyone Knuckle can take down. That's true. Yeah, type matchups matter a lot in Hunter x Hunter. Type matchups matter a lot. Like, there are abilities that, like, straight up counter each other. I'd have to think of a few, but I know that there's at least, like, a couple pairs of abilities where it's, like, they counter each other out. I'd have to think of it, though. Anno said, craziest statement for Gon and Killua tag team was Melioron saying Gon's rock one-shots, no Nen defense Merowyn. Yeah, he was saying that Gon, if he hits Merowyn with rock, he could leave a devastating, or in some definitions it says a fatal blow on him, which is insane from Melioron's standard, like from Melioron's perspective. Who else is there? What do you guys think about Gon and Killua versus Kite, though? Do you think End of Chimera Antar, Gon and Killua working together would beat Kite? Because, like, at the start, like I said, at the start of the arc, Killua himself was like, yeah, with one arm, Kite would still beat us both. Do you think at the end of the arc, Gon and Killua working together would beat Kite? Let me know what you think. Malachi says, I think it's a high diff for Shoot, but I think he takes the win if he locks in against Knuckle. 5 minutes is a lot of time to happen. Bromus said, Knuckle when fighter has a gun, ... Bromus said, Kite still probably wipes the floor, to be honest. Cheese Boy says, I think Kite still loses. Snailium says, probably. Ashura says, Kite no diffs. I'll probably do a poll on it and see what people say. Because that scythe would cook them both, I think, bro. But I don't know. And we didn't even see all of the abilities Kite had. We saw 3 out of like 9. And something I thought was like Kite's abilities matched up with the opponent he was fighting like over and over again. Like the scenario he was in, the ability matched it like perfect. Like when he fought a whole horde of officer ants, he had a wide range ability. When he's fighting one squadron leader, he had a like 1v1 ability. This like that rifle thing. And then when he fought someone who was going to kill him, he had an ability to revive him. So he might have an ability for every scenario. Like if he's fighting Godspeed Killua, who's faster than him, and Gon's Rock, that's like stronger than he is. I hope that, I don't know if that's a debate, if that's like a controversial take or not. Like, he might have an ability in his toolkit that's like designed for handling 2 people that have individual stat advantages. Like if Gon and Killua were like one character, like if you had one character that had both Gon and Killua's abilities together, that's a very high tier character. Like if you have someone who has Godspeed speed and like enraged Gon's attack potency, you have a high tier, like one of the highest tiers. Like someone like that, like them working perfectly together is like an actual super monster. Broma said, I think that's just plot, personally. It doesn't make much sense to have a random ability Hatsu if the ability just gives you the right answer at all time. Yeah, you might be right. It's interesting to think about like all the different ways his ability could work. Now, I wanted to do a Q&A live stream, but it is quite late, and I don't think testing it out at night would be the best way to do it. I think a Q&A I should do in the morning. But and I also want to get editing the Zodiac versus the Royal Guard video. Oh, T. Cole, what's up, bro? You said, is Knuckle realistically catching shoot in the first place? I would say so. Like, not like this version of shoot, that is debatable. Like this version of shoot, I actually think it would be able to pay back the aura debt. But this version of shoot, I think Knuckle is landing a blow on him, yeah. Ashura Gon plus Killua equal Netero? Nah, not that high. Not that high up. But, like, they're high up. Anime Monarch said, do you think Godspeed Killua is physically stronger than Morel? Maybe not. Maybe not, no. Because, like, I mean, Kite is physically on par. I mean, sorry, Knuckles physically on par with Kite in terms of strength. And then Morel might be above that. I don't know if Gon and Killua are like at that level with their base punches and kicks. Gon is like above that level with Rock, but like their normal punches and kicks, I don't know if they scale to like Kite's normal punches and kicks. Especially when we see Killua get boxed by freaking, like, I mean, the fact that Killua struggled with Chimera Antarc Palm is like straight up, that shows you the limit of like Nen Needle Killua without Godspeed. And I actually like that. Like, I like Hunter x Hunter being a balanced series. Like, I don't like the idea that you can just get one ability and you skyrocket above a whole verse that's like, that could also just think of any ability, you know? Like, something I thought, bro, is like, why doesn't every Zoldyck have Godspeed? They all go through electricity training. You would think all of them would just have it. That was something I was thinking. Why don't all of them just have it? They might. Like, we don't know. I mean, I guess you would have to be, it would be ideal to be a transmuter, but you would think, like, if there's something you can do, like, that broken, and the prerequisite to it is, like, electricity training, you would think, like, all the Zoldicks would at least try to have some version of enhancing their speed with electricity. There was something else I wanted to say. Also, transmuters low-key could be, like, in theory, the best ability. Like, if you transmute your aura into light, you could have light speed attacks. Bromish, you said Killua is the only transmuter among them. Yeah, that's true. Like, I'm trying to remember what, like, the Nen chart wheel looks like. Like, because I think Zeno and Silva are both emitters. So, like, for them to learn a transmuter technique, I think it would require them being like they would learn it at 60% proficiency. So maybe they could have like a 60% version of Godspeed, but something like that. But their base stats are a lot higher than Killua's anyway. I don't know. It's interesting things to think about. And what's the top thing on the like? Oh yeah, the top is enhancer, isn't it? I think so. But yeah, a lot of interesting things. Like I really wish Hunter x Hunter kept going because we didn't really get to see everything like the powers are capable of. Like I've thought so many different ways people could make their abilities better. Like Gon, I've thought like what if he used rock but for his feet and like just enhanced his speed like that. And Gon never used enhancer-based healing. I wish we got to see that. I also thought like emitters might be able to enhance their speed by like emitting energy blasts from their feet as they like run and stuff. I've thought about stuff like that. There's all kinds of like different ways you can use Hatsu abilities. I don't know. It's very interesting verse, man. But and Terrace said postmortem Nen Hisoka versus Shoot and Knuckle. Oh, that would be a scrap. That would be a crazy scrap. I'd have to really think about that, to be honest with you. Because I personally think base form Hisoka would beat either of them 1v1. But postmortem Nen Hisoka versus both of them, that is like a really hard fight. That's a hard fight. I'd have to really think about it before giving a definitive answer. But I think Knuckle and Shoot have win conditions over him. But it would be very tough. But Malachi said, have you ever thought about ranking the different Nen affinities? I haven't thought about that. That could be a good idea. And this will be the last one I read. Do you think, or just for tonight, it'll be the last ones. You said, do you think Godspeed Killua and Angry Rage Gon will lose against Kite? Yeah, I mean, I think they. So Kite has win conditions, right? And we don't know what his other abilities are. And also the idea that he might have a good spin in there way stronger than his bad spins. I think Kite has win conditions over them. But who's more likely to win? I honestly am not sure. Because I think Gon and Killua have a win condition over him too. If they just paralyze him and then crack him with rock, I think they win. Because we saw Knuckle like took rock from a much weaker Gon and passed out from it even using Ko. So I think like a similar thing would happen to Kite if he just gets cracked in the chest by rock, especially since Gon could one-shot kill Morel. Oh, Fozu, what's up, bro? You said Ronald, you're saying post Hisoka versus post Kite could be interesting. And Bromus, you were saying the Hisoka versus Kite is a goated stream idea. That one I might do as a video. Anything with like one of the really popular characters, I like to do those as a video. Like Hisoka, Gon, Killua, all those. Like Hisoka versus Razor, I could have done, but it's like it's just almost no one cares about Razor, which is so sad. He's like, there's so many slept on characters in Hunter x Hunter. Like in my opinion, the most slept on characters like are Morel. Like in order is number 1 is Morel, number 2 is Razor, number 3 is Knuckle, and then number 4 is Shoot. Oh, and Nove is in there too. Nove is actually broken, bro. Like the ability, he might have the like most broken Hatsu in the verse, where he can just erase your head, like just teleports your head away and you're just done. Like I don't know if you can defend against that with aura. Like he literally might have an unblockable Hatsu, which is, I think that's the real reason why Togashi like kicked him out of the final arc, because he's just literally too strong. Like that is just genuinely, because the thing about Togashi is like with every power, he worked hard to like make every power have a drawback or a weakness of some kind. Like Gon gets a lot of power for charge up time is like the thing is the weakness. Killua, Godspeed gives him a lot of speed, but like it runs out pretty fast, and like when it runs out, I don't think he can use any Hatsu again until he recharges. That was my interpretation of it, but let me know what you guys think, because we never see him like use Godspeed till it runs out, and then use lightning again afterwards. He like runs away and recharges again. So I think that actually is the condition on Godspeed, is like if he uses it till it runs out, he's like defenseless after that. He cannot use Hatsu. He might like, but I think he still has like a little bit of aura left. It's like, I think every ability for the most part is like high risk, high reward, almost all of them, in some way, shape, or form. Or I would rather say like almost every ability in Hunter x Hunter has a drawback or a weakness. And like, that's something Hisoka says too. He says every ability has strengths and weaknesses. But I think there should be like an asterisk next to that saying, unless your name is Nove, that man doesn't really have a weakness or a disadvantage, bro. Like, he just can teleport wherever he wants to, and he can erase your head. What is the weakness in that, bro? Like, it's just broken. Like, it's actually just a broken power. And if anyone's cooking him, he can just go into the time space and just chill and leave. Like, it's so hard to beat him. Broma said smart opponents can almost hard counter Godspeed. Oh, there's a ton of ways to beat Godspeed. Like, I mean, if you aura gap Killua by a lot, Godspeed isn't going to beat you. Like, you'll just tank all the hits, and then you just like one shot him. Like, you survive the Godspeed duration, then he's done. And I mean, like, the way you know Godspeed doesn't power clip the verse is just based on like how Killua's family treats him. Like Tsubone, like Silva. Okay, there's a line in the anime, I think, and in the manga too, where Tsubone is like, I knew about that Godspeed ability, and if I didn't know about it, I wouldn't have been able to keep up with Killua, like chasing after him. But like, even though he knew about it, Silva sent Tsubone with the mission of, if he breaks the rules, knock him out. Like, he was still confident Tsubone could do that. He didn't go himself. He didn't send Zeno. He just let Tsubone go and was confident Tsubone could do it, even knowing Killua had Godspeed. And then we also see, like, he runs away from Hisoka and Illumi for a whole arc. It's like, it lets you know, like, even though it's a powerful ability, like, Togashi didn't... It doesn't seem like Togashi wanted Killua to be the strongest in the verse just yet. He'll be there soon, though. Like, there's a lot of things that imply, like, Killua's only 12. I think, legitimately, by the time Killua's, like, 15, he'd surpass Illumi. Give him, like, one... Like, maybe even 13 or 14, he'd surpass Illumi. Give him, like, one more year, he's already there. But yeah, I also think someone in the past had Godspeed, too. I think that's how they knew about the ability, but I'm not exactly sure. But, anyway, Bromus, you said Nove's Hatsu kind of does have a weakness. He has to draw the portals, if I remember correctly, and he has to clap his hands together to activate Scream. Oh, really? Yeah, I know. I said last thing in the night 5 minutes ago. But alright, guys, I will end the stream here. But thank you guys for watching. Let me see, what time is it? Yeah, it's pretty late. I might just edit my video for the rest of the night. I was wondering if I should do a Street Fighter stream for a little bit, or if I should just edit this video. I'm still not sure. I don't know. But I think first thing in the morning, we'll do a power scaling Q&A. Someone left that as a question, like as an idea in the chat yesterday, and I'm like, oh, that's smart. Because I was saying, like, an issue I'm running into is, like, on the big streams, I miss, like, half the questions. And I was thinking, I was trying to find some way to handle that. And a dude was like, dude, yeah, maybe do a Q&A live stream. So I'm thinking I'm going to do that. I think I'll make a thumbnail where it's just, like, a picture of, like, Killua or something like that. And then it'll just say, I don't know. The title will just be Power Scaling Q&A or Hunter x Hunter Q&A. Something like that. Or maybe Chimera Antar Q&A. I'll think of some kind of title. But I just want to see, like, if that would actually do well as a stream. If people would click and view on that. It'll be interesting. But alright, guys. Ahmed said, dude, Tsubone needs her own stream. That would be entertaining. Tsubone is underrated. I'll do a short on Tsubone. Like, I have a bunch of shorts to record, bro. I got Tsubone's underrated. Morella's underrated. And Knuckle is underrated. Like, I got to do all three of those. So, but I got a lot of stuff to do. So I got to get to work on all these things. But thank you guys for watching. Dude, we had 71 people this late in the night, bro. These type of streams do great. Like, I appreciate all of you guys hopping in and checking these out, even though it's like Sunday night at like 3 a.m. Thank you guys, bro. I appreciate you guys. Bro, that's such a based comment. Clement Lives, you said streets need that Toriko video. Bro, like, you guys don't actually know, like, how hype the Toriko manga is to me. Like, that, I remember reading that when I was 18, read the whole thing in like a very short time frame, and I thought that was one of the most hyped things I've ever read. Like that. So dude, like that just extended the stream a few minutes, bro. Like, because that unlocked a deep forgotten memory, bro. When I first read Toriko, I remember when I first read it, I thought to myself, this manga is going to like change my life. I remember thinking that vividly as I read it. Because like the way I got into reading the Toriko manga, now this is just Lilo lore time now, okay? Like, this is just straight lore. So I remember I was 18 years old, and I had just started watching the YouTuber King of Lightning. And I would watch his One Piece reviews, and I was just watching all of them, and that was like something that inspired me to become a YouTuber, just watching King of Lightning. Because he was like the first dude I saw like unashamedly show that he liked anime. Like, when I was going to school and stuff, I didn't tell people I watched anime, because if you did, you'd get thrown in the trash cans, bro. Like put you in the dumpsters, throw you in a locker, bully you. But when I saw King of Lightning, I'm like, this is a dude who's like just putting it out there that he loves anime and like getting hyped over it publicly. And like, cause like the way King of Lightning would like freak out reading anime, if you guys want to laugh, bro, go look up King of Lightning Toriko live reactions. That's how I became a fan of King of Lightning, like truly. Was watching him read Toriko and just freaking out, like screaming and freaking out reading Toriko. And I'm like, dude, this is the coolest human being I've ever seen. He's hilarious. But like, anyway, I was watching King of Lightning, and then I watched a video from King of Lightning saying the Toriko anime is trash. It's the worst anime adaptation of all time. And one thing he said was like, in the Toriko manga, this is what got me to read it. He said, every fight in the Toriko manga, there's either a river or an ocean of blood in every fight. It's like one of the most brutal shonens I've ever read in my life. And the characters keep getting stronger and stronger, and now they're as strong as Dragon Ball Z characters. This is all stuff I heard from King of Lightning. And I'm like, wait, you're telling me there's a series out there that has characters as strong as Dragon Ball Z characters, and there's a river of blood every fight? I need to read that. And I read it, and he didn't lie at all. Literally, by the end of Toriko, those dudes are like on par with Majin Buu Saga. 100%. And I could make a video on that, going into detail on it, because like they have characters in there that can like erase galaxies basically by the end of the story, or like relative to that. So like, dude, the power scaling feats in Toriko go so insane. Like, they're done in such cool ways. Like, this is a huge, I want to talk about this one feat because it's just it was just one of the most hype things I'd ever seen, bro, in Toriko. This is a massive spoiler to Toriko, but I'm just going to say it. Like, this is a spoiler to like one of the main battle. I'm not going to say the character's name, but I'm going to describe the feat. It was just hype, okay? So if you don't want to get spoiled on like one of the main fights in Toriko, I recommend like leave for like 1 minute and then come back. But I'm about to say right here, here's a spoiler warning. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so there's a character in Toriko who is shown to be like magnitude stronger than star level. Like, he's able to easily destroy stars and like becomes magnitude stronger than that. And he fights someone shows up on the battlefield, pokes him one time, and he just disintegrates. He doesn't do an attack. He literally pokes him, and he disintegrates. And I'm like, this manga is the best thing ever. I remember reading that. I was like, there's no way. I couldn't, like, I remember reading that. I'm like, how do you poke someone who's like leagues above star level and disintegrate him with a poke? He didn't do an attack. He didn't punch him. He didn't do anything. He poked him. Literally poked him. I was like, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. Like, I remember reading that. I was like 19 when I read that, and I was freaking out. I was like, how? Because we had just seen that dude like destroy stars and stuff, and then this dude walks on the battlefield, pokes him, he disintegrates. I'm like, nah. And like feats like that happen a lot in Toriko. Like you see people do punches, and then they show the punch like it goes into space. It's the size of the Earth, comes back down and crashes into the side of the Earth. Like, just the craziest stuff happens in that manga. So if you haven't read that, like, bruh, read that. Like, it's crazy. Do not watch the anime ever. Because King of Lightning was right. The anime, it came on, like, I'm not sure if this is like an actual truth or not, but like the story I read like in YouTube comments, people said like Toei Animation wanted to make Toriko for kids. They wanted to make it for kids for some reason, the anime. So they took all the blood out. They censored all the fights. Like a lot of things that happen in the manga just get cut clean out. It has an anime original ending, and it's just like a piece of trash. Like it's so bad, bro. But the manga was insane. I'm low-key gonna have to reread some of that. Like, that joint was nuts. Like, the best description I've ever heard of Toriko, it's like Baki and One Piece fused together. Okay, but that's an... Oh, Ninja, you said the horse breathing was insane. Yes, it was, bro. He just breathed on him and... Like, bruh. That manga is insane. That manga is insane, bro. Oh, yeah, Ahmed, the spoiler's done. The spoiler's done. But yeah, that manga is one of my favorites, bro. I'm actually going to go back and reread some of that tonight. I forgot about how hyped that was. Thank you for unlocking that memory for me, bro. I haven't read that, like, in a minute, but that manga was one of my favorites when I read it, bro. It reminds me of, like, Fist of the North Star. And I think it was inspired by that, actually. But alright, guys. That's it for tonight. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.